spring has sprang and sprung. Now, see, somebody dropped me off a washing machine and an air conditioner scrap. You tell enough people that you scrap and people just start dropping stuff off. But somebody dropped off something nice for me. And I got a dryer too. Scrapping soon. Well, this here coffee maker, for instance, I got this out of the garbage at the school I used to clean. And as soon as I turned it on, I knew exactly what was wrong with it, because nice little Keurig here. See the flashing cup thing? Well, all I did was clean the sensors, because this thing was filthy. All I did was clean the sensors, and now it works. And of course, before I used it, I dumped vinegar in there, and I ran vinegar through this several times, and I cleaned it. This is all my mess. This thing was spotlessly clean when I put it out here in the garage. But that was free, and that works excellent. I have a nice coffee maker for the garage. But somebody dropped off a Vizio. I already Googled the model number here. D48-D0. This is a 48-inch smart TV. And it was listed on the internet as being $399. And I'm pretty sure I know what's wrong with this. I have fixed a lot of TVs using this method. This TV here, this 42-inch, free. I fixed it using this method. This little TV here, it works. I fixed it using my method. And then I'm going to show you. Free. This 42-inch smart TV, it needs a new power supply because it shuts off after it's been on for like 10 minutes. It'll shut off on its own. That needs a new power supply. Those are only like 28 bucks. Free. And I fixed it using this method, but it still shuts off on its own, so I got to replace the power supply. I might fix that. The TV in my bedroom, free. Fixed it using the same method. Now, I'm going to review my camera and find out who dropped this off. It's more than likely, if it's a good friend of mine, if I fix this, I'm going to call them and say, hey, I fixed your TV, come and get it. I can't, you know, this is a 48-inch TV. But if it's somebody I don't know, because one time I hung up a flyer at Walmart that says free pickup and removal of scrap. And I listed TVs, you know, microwaves, VCRs. I put a huge list of the stuff I accept. And I left my phone number. And after about 4 days of that flyer being there, I had a ton of stuff out in front of my garage. And I went to Walmart and ripped the flyer down. But here's my trick. This is what you do. This is my first time plugging it in, so I don't know if it's going to catch on fire or nothing. I don't know if it's just going to power up and work like there's nothing wrong with it. Plugging it in for the first time. We got a blue light. And the light's off. Alright, he's usually got... Where's the power switch? Oh. No. Oh, no power switch. You're kidding me. They didn't drop off the remote. Oh. Only one button. Oh, that's right. It's a smart TV. Here we go. Pushed it. White light. It flashed. Maybe we're scrapping it. Maybe the power supply is gone in it. Press the button. See, nothing. Nothing, right? Now I'm going to show you. See, I push the button. Nothing happens. I'll push it again. I'll push it really good and hard that time, just to make sure. Now here's the magic trick. I'm going to unplug it. Press and hold the button. And that's going to clear all the electricity out of the circuit board. That's going to clear all the electricity out of the RAM and out of the memory and out of everything. Completely clear everything. And I'm going to plug it back in now while still holding that button in. Lights on. I'm still holding the button in. Oh, it flashed again. I'm going to release the button. Press the button again. No. Let me try this trick again. Unplug it. Let me try a different power wire. Because there was 2 power wires out there with this. I just used that one because it was longer. This is probably the wire that came with it. Need longer. So once again, I'm going to press and hold the power button while plugging this in. And it flashed again. Alright, so now I'm guessing it's the power supply. So it looks like I'll be taking this apart and checking out the power supply. Alright, I actually Googled it now, this exact specific TV, on what the manufacturer recommends to do. And they say press and hold button for 10 seconds. And then we'll try plugging it in, and then we'll try turning it on again. This is what the manufacturer recommends. Gotta love Google. It's definitely been 10 seconds. I'm gonna release the button. Try plugging it in. We got a light. Lights off. Light came on, it flashed for a quick second. I think we got a dead power supply. So I'm going to try taking this apart. We're going to see what the power supply looks like. Alright, now I took it apart and I've come to the conclusion that the power supply in this is probably fried. I reflowed a lot of the solder joints because a lot of the solder joints looked like an 8-year-old soldered them. So I reflowed a lot of the solder joints and added solder to some of the ones that looked like they needed more. And when I plug it in and try resetting it, it's doing the same thing. It just flashes. So I'm pretty sure the power supply in this is cooked. I looked it up on eBay here, and for 15 bucks I can have a new power supply here. And things I always look for when I order stuff off of eBay is free shipping. That's a bonus, but I always look for ships from United States. I want to keep my money in my country. I recommend you guys do the same for your country. Order stuff from your country. Keep your money in your country. I recommend you do that for your country too. And another thing you gotta look for is pulled from cracked screen. TV works great. From Holyoke, so it's pretty close by. I live in Massachusetts, so it's actually shipping from Massachusetts. So it'll be here guaranteed by Thursday. It'll probably be here Monday or Tuesday actually, or probably be here a lot quicker than that. But you got to look for, there's the seller, 100% positive feedback, and they've done 189 listings. They've either bought 189 things or they've sold 189 things, but they had 100% feedback, so they've never ripped anybody off. So I'm confident about buying this. I'm going to buy this one, and when it comes in, buying it. When it comes in, we're going to fix this, and I'm going to have a 48-inch TV in the garage. 48-inch smart TV. Now, that hold the power button trick while you're plugging it in does work to fix most TV problems. Like I said, free. The one in my bedroom, free. I fixed TVs for friends that dropped them off. That works almost all the time, so make sure you try it on TVs that you guys find scrapping. It's worth a shot. And this one, for 15 bucks, I'm gonna have a TV. So we'll continue this, and when my board comes in. Alright, the mailman brought me my power supply today, and the seller of this on eBay, he had it marked as came from a working TV that had a broken screen. And I know this one's screen's not broken, because if the screen was broken, it would turn on and you would see that the screen is broken. They would still turn on. And it's usually not the logic board. The logic board's on this side. It's usually going to be the power supply board, and you can tell the power supply board because that's where the power supply comes into. Ooh, copper. Ooh, look at them transistors. Ooh, look at that, extruded aluminum. Ooh, I'm gonna mark this so I don't mix them up. So there's no mixing them up. And I'm gonna put it on a scale just for a place to set it, and we'll get a weight on it anyways. We're not scrapping it though. No, don't put me on the scale. Don't worry, I'm just setting you down. Safe place to set you. 3/4 of a pound. Let's get these screws out. It's not too often electronics come on, sit in this workbench and get back up afterwards. Here's something I'm going to recommend. This has been sitting for a few days, been sitting for 2 days. I recommend holding this power button down to kill any power that's left in this, and of course make sure it's unplugged. Use your head. But people always, when their TV burns out, they think it's too complicated to fix. Older TVs, like the tube TVs, very complicated to fix. But these modern TVs, it's usually the power supply that goes bad in them. Now you're going to want to keep an eye on your screws, because there's going to be some screws that are going to be different from others. Some are going to be like right here. We got self-tappers, and these ones are fine thread ones. So you're going to want to keep an eye on your screws, and you remember which ones go where. That one threads in the metal, and there's other ones here that thread in the metal, and some are just threading into plastic. Like that one probably should have been a shorter screw. Figured I would just show you how easy these are to repair. Show you that it's not too intimidating and that it's something you can do yourself. No screws. And I think that's it for screws. So I got a 55-inch in my living room. 55-inch 4K hooked up to my big gaming computer. Now I'm going to have a 48-inch hooked up out here to this gaming computer. And it's going to be awesome. Am I missing any more? This one didn't want to come out. Electronics usually don't leave the garage in one piece. This one screw is giving me a hard time. Get the flathead out. Already getting the scrapping tools out on her. Like I said, electronics usually don't leave this garage in one piece. Smaller magnet, maybe? My scrapyard gives these out. With the scrapyard's name on them. I just may end up having to break this screw. Pry it right out. I don't have patience for this. I'm going to try pushing the screw to the side while taking it out. Alright, I'm done with you, screw. That's all the patience I got for you. Keep all my magnets, all my screws on my magnet. And they usually just unsnap. There we go. Oh yeah, a post broke on the back of that one. Now there's going to be some wires that are connected to this because we got a power switch here. So don't go lifting it right off right away. I want to break all my pins. There we go. And yeah, we got this one, put one wire right here. Disconnected my one wire. That went to my power switch. We'll set this to the side. And here's the power supply. Now I wonder what went wrong on this, because it all looked pretty good when I was looking at it the other day. Oh, this goes to the logic board. This is the logic board. Usually nothing ever goes wrong on this logic board. It's almost always the power supply. Just want to carefully unhook these wires. And take note of where screws are, because this does need to be properly grounded. So it could even be one of the grounds that went bad on this. No, now that I'm looking at this board. So we got the silver screws are for the power connector. And these darker screws are for the grounding, the ground points. Yeah, now that I'm looking at it, that looks pretty cooked right there. See the dark dustiness on the back of the metal? Now I want to compare these two boards and look and see if I can see if don't get it, it all looks good. So this is why I wrote new on the new one. It all looks good. Usually you can spot swollen capacitors. This one looks a little swollen. Not spotting anything. Usually when you compare them, you can usually say, oh yeah, Bill, that's definitely what was wrong with it. So it could be something simple like one of these solder joints is just loose, but I went and rechecked all the solder joints. So you can see a lot of these. I added extra solder to these. That one I added extra solder to, that one. Alright. You You are going to get scrapped later. So let's put the new one in. And it's just as simple as reversing our steps. And this would be nice if this works. "99% of the time, if the TV turns on, but shuts off right away." I was gonna say I lost a screw. And I don't recommend using power tools doing this because you can over tighten stuff very easily. You should be using hand tools so you can actually feel with your hand how snug it is. And plus, if you over tighten it, you can break stuff. There we go. I went easy with it. I'm a trained idiot. I know what I'm doing. So now I just have to plug her back in, plug the logic board back into the power supply. And plug the screen back into the power supply, the LED backlight. Now I'm going to put our back, 3 backs, put back the back. Make sure you plug your power switch wire back in. Just snap together. And this doesn't really screw in and everything. It looks like the TV, if you hang it on the wall, it's like it's only going to be hanging from plastic. And these little clips are going to be the only thing supporting its weight. That's kind of scary. Now, we reverse the order and put all the screws back in. I should probably not put these ones in because I'm going to be taking them out to hang it back on the wall. Now for the specialty screws, I'm calling them. We got 4 of them. So these ones just go into regular plastic. These are going to be your perimeter ones. Don't over tighten them like I always do, because that one's over tightened. That screw is pretty much useless. Just gonna spin in there. That one's useless, not doing anything. I over tighten that one too. Oh, I'm getting excited. And now for these specialty screws, they got different threads and they thread into metal. They're not threading into plastic. Let's start with this one. It's not a magnetic tip. to over snug these. Now, put the legs back in. Where the old flip-flopper flew. A good way to store your cords: tie them in a knot, fold them in half again, tie them in a knot. Because look at that. No tangles. And how does this plug in? Alright, plugging her in. Fingers crossed. The lights didn't dim out. Lights on and staying on. Look at that! Why'd it shut off? Oh! Tuner's not been set up, press input key. We're flickering, but we're work rating. I'm gonna shut her down. I'm gonna hold this button down for 10 seconds. And we're going to plug her back in. Come on, baby, come on, baby. Power button. Why is it flickering? Alright, now, it's been a week or two. I had to step away from this thing. I was getting ready to pick it up over my head and just smash it on the floor. But I went and Googled it. I went to their website. And Vizio's website actually says to hold the power switch in for 30 seconds, at least 30 seconds, and then plug it in. Well, I did that, and it was still flashing. So then I took it apart again, and I think either this one was loose, my screw, or that screw was loose, because these need to make contact with ground. So I think these screws were loose. And I rechecked all my connections, but after doing that, I'm gonna shut the light off so you can see. Oh, come on, you worked 10 seconds ago. Come on. Oh, there we go. Oh, I was getting worried there. See, no more blinking. No more blinking. And I downloaded the app for my phone, because I don't have a remote. And I was able to get it to connect to my Wi-Fi. And I was able to get it to go to HDMI 1, so I can hook it up to the computer. Oh. 48-inch smart TV for the garage. So that means the 32-inch that's in my bedroom has to go in my living room and hooked up to the camera system. The 42-inch is going to go in my bedroom. I just got to find the base to it. I think it's up in the little loft up there. And the 48-inch is going to go right there. So that means... Let's see if this works. That means I get to do this. Oh, look at that! That's awesome. Haha, so where do you think you're going, mister? Let's get all that nice copper there. We got about 3/4 of a pound. Got some copper bearing here. Some copper to pluck off. Oh, this is awesome. 48-inch smart TV. Only cost me $15. And a lot of aggravation, but can't beat free. Or can't beat cheap. Was this a relay? I almost cutted my fender. Doesn't look like a relay. Oh, if that was a relay, it would have popped right open. Pain in the butt to get the copper out of these. Pain in the butt to get the copper out of that. It can stay on there for the extra weight. I want this transistor, because these are loaded with copper. That's almost totally copper. See the little copper pins that run up in there? That whole big giant plate in there is all copper. So these can go right in your number 2 copper bucket. And I want these aluminum heat sinks. Extruded aluminum. Put a glove on so I'll end up bleeding everywhere. This board thought it was going to get away, huh? Another transistor. Thought it was going to get away without getting scrapped. Magnet sticks to it, 10. Let's get these transistors off. More transistors. I got a copper plate in them. See it in there? I'll go right in your number 2 copper bucket. Oh, I'm so excited. 48-inch smart TV. Transistor. Extruded aluminum. Get some of my 15 bucks back that I spent on that power supply. So, when you guys come across flat screen TVs to fix or to scrap, always try the power button first, the power button trick first. 90% of the time, all they need is to have their motherboard reset. And that usually fixes most of the problems they have. If not, it's usually the power supply, and you saw how easily power supplies are to swap out. And they're usually cheap and readily available. Got some more number 2 copper. And that's about it. These little pins in here are brass. See if I can get these out. I can just stay in there. Oh, that was easy. We got some copper bearing low grade circuit board. We got some screws. Fixed the TV and I scrapped the circuit board. Look at that. Let's see how we did. Still got 3/4 of a pound. So we got 1/2 ounce of tin for the tin bucket. No way is that an ounce. We got 1/2 ounce of extruded aluminum. And 9 ounces of copper bearing circuit board. And 1 ounce of number 2 copper. Not too bad. Easy money. So just remember, guys, scrap is everywhere. All you gotta do is find it, sort it, and hoard it. So thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.